Okay, this is my third attempt trying to record this. I have a microphone. Guys, it's serious. I'm going to stay focused. I have an outline. Okay, why did you start this channel? This all happened in 2023. So in 2023, I got a Kobo. And I had already had my Libby card, okay? I was reading things on my phone. It wasn't working out well for me. Because, like you're reading on your phone, your eyes get tired. Anyway, I read on my Kobo. I downloaded Storygraph. Debatable which order that happened in. But either way, come 2024, I was taking my reviews on Storygraph so seriously. A book club started in my city. Shout out to Kat. Shout out to the people of the book club. And that got me regularly reading for the book club as well. And then I got just so excited talking about books. Like, I majored in comparative literature. I talked about books all through college. I was really into reading as a child. But I don't know. From the ages of like 22 to 26, I didn't really read a lot. And then suddenly I got my Kobo and the world just opened back up. So I started this channel specifically because of that Storygraph, because of the book club. It reminded me how much I really like talking about things. Like, I talked so much in college. I think I talked in like every single one of my small discussion classes. I was that girl. Okay? So anyone who was in class with me, you remember. And I found myself also with these Storygraph reviews. I was screenshotting them to post to my Instagram story, which at that point it's like, girl, get a blog, or just do this. So finally, now in the year of our Lord 2025, I'm starting the channel. And I don't know, I feel like I need attention. No, I need to talk about these books, and I want people to agree with me or also like listening to me. And there's a place for people like me, and that is here. So, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to YouTube? Well, okay, do you want to know what I wrote on this paper? I wrote sparkling personality. Okay. I have a degree in comparative literature. I did watch a lot of movies to meet the requirements for that degree, but nevertheless, I have one. Also, I spend Storygraph. I love Storygraph so much that I became a paying member. Like, I paid them money because I was using it not maybe equal to, probably less realistically, than Instagram. Like, before I go to sleep at night, I go on to Storygraph and I'm just like checking who's reading what. I want to read people's reviews. Like, there's this woman I follow. I have no idea who this person is. Eunice, shout out to Eunice, because she writes a review she reads so much, first of all, and she writes a review for every single book that she has ever read. And I just need to know what Eunice has been reading. I need to know what I make all my friends start Storygraphs, and then some of them keep up with it, and some of them just feel bullied by me. And so, anyway, I have ADHD. Can you tell? I have, from so many deep dives on Storygraph, so many obscure books. I love the challenges on Storygraph where it'll be like, there was one I did last year. It was like, I spy. And it was like, I spy a robot. And then you have to see all the covers of your TBR and where's a robot? And so I found a lot of really weird, random books just from searching and looking through people's stuff. And I'm like, oh, I got to read this because it'll fit my I Spy challenge. I didn't finish the I Spy challenge, but I added a lot of books that were interesting. I think the best book that I enjoyed that I read last year came from that I Spy challenge where it was an arrow. And so I found Time's Arrow by Martin Amis. Amis? Seems French, Amis. And it was such a disturbing, good book. I will put my review on the screen if I know how to do that. I don't know. This is a lot of faith in someone who has never really edited many videos. Fingers crossed. Figure that out. But yeah, that's what I have to bring. Sparkling personality, opinions, a degree in comparative literature, and obscure books from Storygraph Deep Dives. Oh, and also Korean used bookstores because I live in Korea. I teach English here. And I love going. There's this book place called Aladdin, and they always have like a really teeny tiny English book section, but you find like the weirdest books there. It'll be like the books that were really popular like 10 to 15 years ago, I guess because somebody cleared out their shelves finally. And then like a bunch of like very questionable self-published religious literature, which I don't know. I've never read those books, but they're always interesting to look at. It's like, I think I took a picture. I don't if I can find this picture. Maybe it was like some really philosophical, dense book next to like a really self-published looking religious thing, and just it's interesting. That's the range anyway. Aladdin is giving you range. But I always find a lot of weird books that either I wasn't expecting to find or I had no idea about, and then I'll pick them up either online on Aladdin or when I visit in person. What am I most excited about? I mean, honestly, I'm just the opposite of that. I'm not excited to edit this video because, okay, I know I'm filming myself, but you know how like when you hear your own voice, it's just like, you know? I'm not excited for that. We'll see. I mean, who knows if this video even makes it online, but I'm not excited to edit, but I am excited to share like all of these older, lesser known, less talked about books. So yeah, I don't really like buying books. As I said before, my Kobo really got me into reading. So I'm a big fan of the ebook. I'm going to bring ebook representation to YouTube. So watch this space. Why do you love reading? So as I said, I loved reading as a kid, but like honestly, I totally forgot what it's like to just like get really immersed in a story. And wait, what did I write here? Getting immersed in a story, in a narrative, I think I spent like days of summer vacation just reading. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 5. What series got you into reading? I mean, spoiler, I just mentioned Warrior Cats. I love those books. Me and my friend Andy, shout out to Andy. I don't think he's watching this, but we were so into Warrior Cats. Like, it was kind of concerning. I think we moved on to other things by the time we got to middle school, but I definitely had the first 3 series like just on my bookshelf, and I read it kind of so many times. I started rereading them last year. I think I got to like book number 2, and honestly, they still kind of hold up. Like, they're made for children, but like for what they are, political thrillers for children with cats, good. Like, it explains a lot of me, like who I am. Also, oh, when I was younger though, so wait, so that I'd say that was like 4th grade. Animal Arc. Did anyone else read those? They're like these, it's like this girl and her parents are veterinarians, and she's always like helping some animal. I was also a horse girl. I feel like this is like really, I'm just sharing all of my deep dark secrets in this introductory booktube tag. Warriors. Oh, and yeah, and then in middle school, Aragon. That was the big one. What question would you ask your favorite booktubers? Okay, this is what I wrote for what question would you ask your favorite booktubers? Not sure. Don't really have any questions. I guess why the ebook hate? I am interpreting a lack of ebook representation as hatred. So do with that what you will. Oh, and how to get out of a reading slump. I have my own methods, but I always like to hear other people's hot tips. Okay. Number 7. What challenges will be the hardest I assume this is about having a YouTube channel or being a booktuber. Sitting down to film and editing. Yeah, I'd agree with that, past self. Because I have to listen to myself talk. I think I mentioned that before. But, like listening to your own voice, that'll be exciting. Sitting down, this took so long for me to just like sit down. Also, you can't see, but there was like a bunch of stuff over there that I just like moved that way. So that was like figuring out the setup, figuring out the lighting. Also being chill and not getting discouraged by a lack of views or haters. I wrote haters with a Z. When did you start reading? As a small child. Apparently there's a story of me when my mom was trying to take me to pick up my older brother from preschool. So I would have been an infant. I was like, well, do infants talk? Anyway, I was talking, but not well. And apparently I was sitting in a pile of books. And she was like, come on, Lauren, it's time to go. And I said, no, Mommy, I read. So since that age, I don't think I was actually reading though. I think I was in kindergarten reading. Brag. But my mom was an elementary school teacher, so I think that really explains a lot. If you're like surrounded by books and people are always reading them to you, I think that definitely will have you start reading earlier than kids who don't have that at home. Where do you read? So I would like to read on this couch specifically, but I always fall asleep on this couch. So I actually do most of my reading at cafes and sometimes at work when I've finished everything. I like bring my ebook with my ebook reader, my e-reader, my Kobo. I bring my Kobo with me. So sometimes I will read at work. Usually at cafes, though. I do a lot of cafes reading, especially because I live in like the cafe capital of the world, Korea. I mean, it's not the capital, but like the country-wise. I don't live in Seoul. That's where there's more cafes. Anyway. Oh, yeah. So to summarize, I mostly read sitting upright in public near others. Because apparently if I'm alone, I will just fall asleep. Sometimes I read before bed, but again, falling asleep. Although recently there have been a few books that I got really into as I was sleeping. Or as I was supposed to be sleeping. And then I did not sleep, which that had not happened to me in a very long time. So that was exciting. Okay, and number 10. What kind of books do you read? I read a lot of lit fic. Lit fic. I love a story that doesn't tell it. Nothing happens. Nobody does anything. We're just getting a lot of words and thoughts and vibes. I love a vibe story. So, I really don't regrettably, I don't like murder mysteries, which I read And then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and I did give it 3 stars. So, and that was like kind of me being nice. That feels like I'm such a hater, guys. It's okay. She's dead. Also, she was kind of racist. But I don't know. I mean, like, I've never written a book. It's hard. So, whatever. But anyway, this was the BookTube tag, the newbie tag. What a 2010 phrase, the newbie tag. Anyway, we'll see how long this video turns out to be, and I hope it's okay, and I hope you liked it. Okay. This is really weird. I'm scared to edit this. What if I hate it? What if this is all bad? Oh my god. Okay. Goodbye.